Hi, everybody. Hassan Shariq, regulated Canadian immigration consultant. My prayers and wishes that all of you, along with your families, are doing really well wherever in the world you are. In today's video, I'm going to quickly talk about an important topic for which I receive a lot of queries. And this is um, having a relative in Canada and its impact on your skilled migration application for Canada. So a lot of people ask through social media, through emails to our consulting firm, that they have a relative in Canada who is a permanent resident or a citizen, and how does that provide any benefit to their skilled migration application. Now, for this, we have to look at a few factors. First of all, we have to have a look as to who that relative is. If it is your sibling, an uncle and aunt, a cousin, or maybe a distant relative. So we have to look at that. Secondly, we have to see as to which stream are you applying for, because the different streams that are there for skilled migration, the express entry streams, the PNP programs, each has a different policy in terms of allocating points for relatives, and the eligibility as to which relatives can contribute points towards your application. And lastly, we have to have a look as to where that particular relative is currently based in. So I'll start off with all the major streams in which there are points allocated for eligible relatives as of now. And we know that the policies keep changing, so I can't really say if from in a month's time from now or 2 months' time from now, this will be the same. But as of today, this is how it is. So first of all, express entry. Um, in terms of express entry, there are two sets of points where people get confused sometimes. One is the CRS points. These are the points which are allocated for your express entry profile, and your ITA, your invitation, is based on these points. So these are really the important points. Now, in terms of CRS points, if you have a sibling who is a Canadian permanent resident or a citizen, you get 15 CRS points for that. They have to be based in Canada. So, say you have a brother who is a Canadian citizen, but they're not based in Canada anymore, then you cannot claim these points. If you're applying as a married person or a person in a common law relationship, and you have an accompanying spouse application, and your spouse has a brother or sister in Canada, then you can claim those points as well. If it is a non-accompanying spouse application and your spouse has eligible relative like a sibling in Canada as PR citizen, then you cannot claim those points. So that's for express entry. Now, before moving on, a little clarification. Sometimes people get confused that once they are making the express entry profile, there is a question as to if you have an eligible relative in Canada, and that describes uncle and aunt and grandparent as well. Now there is a 67 point eligibility mark for eligibility of express entry. That is a very different thing. You do get points in the factor of adaptability if you have relatives other than your siblings as well, but that is only for eligibility sake. You will not receive an ITA on the basis of that. In terms of CRS points, it is only your siblings for which you'll get additional points. Um, Alberta Express Entry stream, Alberta PNP program. Over there, you can benefit because of eligible relative in the province. Um, Alberta PNP program, the Alberta Express Entry program, is based on the CRS system. So they rank people on the basis of CRS, Express Entry CRS, and they pick people from the Express Entry pool. So there's no separate allocation of points. If you have an eligible relative in Canada, you get those 15 CRS points. But one of the factors that they mention, and this is mentioned on their website as well, because of which your chances of being invited by the province increase, is if you have an eligible relative within the province. And this can be a parent, a child, or a sibling. So if you have this, your chances of being invited under the Alberta and PNP, specifically the express entry stream, increase. There are no additional points, but it is in your favor. Next up, Saskatchewan. So Saskatchewan has its own points grid. Now it is 110 points grid, where they rank you based on various factors. And if you have a close family relative in the province of Saskatchewan, you can claim up to 20 points, and these 20 points can make or break your application, because a lot of people who are outside of Canada, they're stuck on the maximum that they can score is 70. So scores have been very competitive, 68 to 70. So getting these 20 points can actually bump up your application into a very, very promising score range. Saskatchewan awards you points, these 20 points, if you have a sibling, grandparent, parent, child, real aunt or uncle, not a distant aunt or uncle, but a real aunt or uncle, even cousins, and at times nephews as well. So the list is exhaustive. That's where you can claim a lot of points for an eligible relative. They have to be based in the province of Saskatchewan. And if you claim these points, once you get the invitation and you submit your documentation, you have to provide documentation to prove that they've been in the province for at least 1 year. But that's there. Then there is Manitoba. Manitoba has its own points grid as well. They actually allocate you points for close family, as well as having a relative who is willing to sort of support you or sponsor you for your settlement in the province. If you have a close family member in the province, you can get up to 200 points on the point grid. And again, this is an exhaustive list where you can have a real uncle or aunt. It can be your cousin. It can be your sibling. But once again, they have to be based in the province of Manitoba, and they have to come up with a support plan for you. So as of right now, these are the different streams where having an eligible relative can benefit you in your skilled migration application. If you have a distant relative which does not fulfill the requirements for these, it will not help you in any way. I know a lot of times, one of the things which I commonly see is that sometimes your close relative probably moved to Canada maybe 15 years or 20 years ago. The policies at that time were very different. Because they're not connected to the immigration processing once they've moved themselves, a lot of people believe that what the policies were at that time, the same policies are in place. And that's where a lot of times this confusion happens. Right now, all the different streams where you can have points for your relatives, I've listed them, and I've tried to explain the the different requirements for different streams as of right now. I hope this will help clarify some of the questions that people have in terms of relatives providing any benefit in your skilled migration application. That's all for now. Please share your feedback, comments, suggestions, and your support in terms of likes and followers is greatly appreciated. Till the next time that we meet through another video, take care of yourself. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.